inner dislike for Mo as a fantasy coach, the GM. So when I won, I rubbed him in his face.
I did not shove it in your face that I beat you by 50. And since the time I've been in the league, you have never defeated me. No, I held that back.
It's about time, Joe. You started bringing that heat because Ryan is just throwing.
Man, I look. It's a Wednesday, like hump day. I'm feeling it. Ryan really must have had a bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to week 6 within the Indecision Cave. I am your host, Ryan Grace, and I am joined by my co-host, my league mate, Trader Joe, who, weird, Joe, you got a new name. Oh, no, you went back to Trader Joe. A little earlier, you might have called yourself Loser Joe.
Yeah.
Which is,
bipolar right now. It's good.
Yeah, well, bounce back, man. The people need you. They're tuned in. They're paying attention to what you got to say. Obviously, we got the all-time leader in regular season, the Indecision Cave victories, Just Blaze.
One and only.
Respectfully. And the commissioner got his hoodie on tonight, but he's got his Eagles in the background, as always. Commissioner Jones.
He took a bad attitude.
Oh, that's the perfect segue because I was coming to you, man. Week 5, dude. How's your matchup looking? What happened? What went right? What went wrong?
Well, we still fighting. I play Justin on my Zoom. He's below me, so I'm hoping that goes as the rating as well. Right now, he has 71 points. Projected to get to 104. I have 116. So everybody on my squad has played. He has Alvin Kamara, Justin Jackson, and AJ Brown playing.
So how do you feel?
I'm hoping AJ Brown don't look too great. Alvin Kamara's gonna do his thing, and we just gonna. I don't know, man. I'm not really feeling real comfortable. I wish Dalvin Cook didn't get hurt yesterday, or else I'd have been able to expand my lead a little bit. But it is what it is. Dalvin, Russell, and Adam Thielen continue to put me in a position to compete every week. I ain't really too mad.
I hear you, Justin. You guys were one of the featured matchups of the week. Because it was two of the the two winningest franchises in the Indecision Cave history. You had 38 wins, Ashton just getting to 35 last week. We were ready for the fireworks, man, but your team...
Only one got the hardware, though. Only one of the two got the hardware, though, which is what matters.
Oh, geez, you're right. He's a champ. So, Justin, we're not going to get to the championships yet because we know you haven't done anything in that realm yet. We're going to stick to the regular season for a second. How'd you strategize and what'd you do to kind of put yourself in position to get this W against Ashton this week?
I mean, first off, it's a weird week this week. Like, the thing that threw me off was that 49er Miami game. I definitely didn't expect Dolphins team to put up 43 on the road. So that threw me for a great loop. But I utilized some of the pieces in my trade this week to start, and just for a strategic advantage having AJ Brown start, knowing that they play on Tuesday. So depending on what happens tonight, I'm going to have Ashton on edge just a little bit longer to see if I could pull through with the comeback.
There you go. And I mean, if Ashton gets to 36 and you get to 38, the race to the all-time leader at 40 victories gets real tight. And we'll be keeping our fans up to date all season long. Joe, you were coming into the matchup 1-3. You're facing, I believe, Mahan.
Yep.
How's everything going in your matchup with the Mahan DeLorean?
I was hoping that the Chargers, who are facing the Saints right now, would drop like 40, 50 points so I can get his defense to score negative points so I can have a chance. But that doesn't appear to be happening. Well, they got 13 right now, second quarter. But that's one of the things. Like, I'm trying to tell myself, Joe, like, you lost this week. Stop checking the games. Stop checking the scores. He's supposed to outscore me almost by like 30 points. But I'm an optimist at heart. But, yeah, I need them to close this out and really end this. And here's the thing. I can't even root for the Buffalo Bills game tomorrow to be canceled because his backup that you offered all of us to have a backup just in case there's some crazy COVID situation to fill in was supposed to be Henderson, who dropped this smooth 22 points on his bench. So I'm done. I'm 1-4. Well, I'm done this week. So I think I did a quick calculation. I have to go 6-2, I believe, the rest of the way to have a fighting chance. I think I'd be one game over 100 if I do that. It's tough, but you know, this is the nature of the beast. You guys may not think I have a good team. I think I have a solid team. It's just not falling my way right now.
So, you know, we spoke to Kai and we spoke to Rashawn last week. And we know they were both 1-3 going into their matchup. And so we can loop you into it because whoever lost, they're now sitting at 1-4. Are you panicking? And if you are, like, what kind of moves are you making? If you're not, you know, what makes you think that there's going to be better days ahead? And what are some moves that you can make to put your squad in position to get to 7-6 and have a shot at the playoffs?
I'm not panicking, mainly because I know panicking rarely produces, you know, good results. If I panic, whoever I trade with would probably be the clear victor in the trade. And unfortunately, my team is in a situation, I would consider my team somewhat deep. Like right now I have Terry McLaurin on the bench and David Hamilton, Montgomery, I'm sorry. But he scored 18 points. You know, he's a good running back. So I have a solid team from top to bottom. I just don't have that one knock it out the park like Justin has with Kamara. Like he can win. I don't really have that. Well, I'm supposed to have Lamar Jackson who could win me a week, but of course this year hasn't been the same so far.
Chris Carson, bro.
I do. He's a good player, but he's not going to win me a week. He's not going to drop 40 points. I mean, I could be wrong.
You right.
But I don't see
Allen Robinson or Robert Woods. Those two have like very much boom.
They're solid, but I still don't see like 30-something, 40-something from them. And so for me to do a successful trade and make my team in a better position, I think I have to do a 2-for-1, meaning I get the better player. I gave up my better player this year in Michael Thomas. I don't think this league is as willing to give up the better player. When you see the good dude on your squad dropping, you know, 20-something consistently or 30 or 40 points, no matter what two good players you get, generally speaking, it's hard to give that player up. And I don't think I'm going to be able to get a good 2-for-1, even though I have the depth to do it. I don't think I'll be able to pry someone away from a team who's really a home run hitter.
So it looks like you might not have too many trade opportunities, but you do like your squad. For some reason, Fantasy Pros still has you as the number 2 rated team in the league. I mean,
to this day.
To this day. So hopefully you can. Well, I mean, it's the middle of the week, so we don't necessarily know what it'll look like when you're sitting at 1-4. But there's some promise there, right? Lamar Jackson, once he turns it on, you got a lot of ancillary players around it. Allen Robinson, Chark, McLaurin. You got a nice deep receiving core. You got strong running backs. There's potential. Probably need Lamar Jackson to revert a little bit to his MVP ways of 2019.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. But fellas, the matchup of the week that we had last week, real quick, just to sit on that, we had Rashawn, we had Kai, and Rashawn's team kind of took it to him. As of when this show's recording, Kai's team is down by 50 points to the Auntie Anthony's. And Justin, as we look at Rashawn's team, you gave him DK Metcalf, who's his leading scorer this week. Do you have any trader's remorse or any thoughts on, was this the right decision for you?
Nah, it's because like I said, I did it it's more of a long-term thing. And I had to cope with that when I decided to utilize DK in the trade. So it's just one of those things. I just hope Sean takes good care of DK. You know, he's gentle. He likes to be, you know, wide receiver 1 a lot. You know, and he likes to get that good attention. So I put him in his hands. So we'll see. But, you know, next year I could definitely get him back on the team with a good drive. So not tripping.
I hear you. And so Kai and Joe will be the bottom feeders of the Indecision Cave, sitting at 1-4. We wish them the best of luck as they continue to kind of figure it out.
You don't, Ryan. I think you would really love for me to go winless the rest of this season.
If Joe goes 1-12, I will not shed a tear except of laughter. That would be too great. That would be Too great. Oh my goodness.
Amazing.
Rooting for you, man. Rooting for you. But ladies and gentlemen, when we come back within the Indecision Cave, we're going to hit you with one of your favorite segments where we give you the blessings of who to pick off the waiver wire. Welcome back to the Indecision Cave, and we're here with your favorite segment. We're going to talk about waiver wires. And Joe, we're going to start with you first, man. Who are you looking at picking up to right the ship for the Trader Joe's in Week 6?
Not for the Trader Joe's. He's already rostered in the Indecision Cave League. But as you talked about before off camera, Ryan, this is really a 80 miles per hour softball down the middle. We all know it's Chase Claypool. I know he did really well against the Eagles, and Deontay Johnson, I think, was out for a lot of the game. So you may not think that, he's going to be this good, but we all know that the Steelers, they hit on wide receivers. They have some type of magic formula. They just haven't figured out. And, dude, he almost had Ace. If you're watching the game, did he almost have a fourth touchdown? Am I remembering that correctly? Okay, so he scored 42 fantasy points, and he's only 9% rostered in ESPN. So I know this is softball, so let me add a little bit more to it. So if you have a budget attached to your league for waiver wire pickups, how much percent would you put towards picking up Chase Claypool? I personally, and you guys can chime in actually on this, I would go around 30 or so percent for Chase Claypool. Of course, it's your team roster construction dependent, but I think he's real, and I think he's here to stay. Fellas, Justin, what percentage would you put for him?
Yeah, I'll give him about the same.
Ace?
Might be a little bit more aggressive and do 40%. Man,
Okay.
I think at this point, Week 5, Deontay
is
will
out
stay
there.
healthy. Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, so that's my pick for this week, Ryan.
There you go. Ashton, rumor has it that you might be flying with your home team, man. But who you taking in this week's waivers?
I'm going to stay in Pennsylvania, man. And the receiver on the other side of the football also balled out. I mean, as an Eagles fan, you watch and just like, yo, this dude is really like killing it. And the boy, the man put up 31.2 fantasy points and really kept us in the game and won us the game last week in San Francisco. And that's Travis Fulgham. And I'm hoping I'm saying his last name right. But man, in the past 2 weeks of not having receivers, and I don't even think he goes away if Deshaun Jackson, Jalen Reagor, or Alshon Jeffrey comes back. The man had 13 targets last week. Carson was looking for him. Like, that was Carson's go-to guy. I know the week before he only had 3. But he proved himself. He was 2 for 57 for a touchdown, and this week he went 10 for 152, right, for another touchdown. And he had 16 targets in like 12 receptions for over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. At this point in the season, I mean, Eagles receivers can't stay healthy. If this man can stay healthy, he's going to consistently see good targets from Carson Wentz. It doesn't look like Zach Ertz is going to eat into that at all. Very disappointing for me again. But yeah, for sure, you got to go with Travis. If he's there, spend some bread on him. I don't got no more fab, but if he's out there.
I mean, you can spend your real money in our league.
I know people are going to go after him. Like, I know someone's going after him, so I'm not going to spend OD bread on my own personal bread on Travis, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think we're at the point in the season where, like, if it's not an injury kind of pickup, it's like, you see 1 week, maybe 2 of a performance, and you got to go try to get the guy to sort of right the ship. Like, at the beginning of the year, there's question marks about, oh, is this going to be a running back by committee, or who's Carson Wentz going to target, those kind of things. But these pickups right now are more of like, can this guy get hot? It's a lot of question marks, and any free agent budget that you have left over, like, you got to go make these kind of moves. Because likely the guys like Alexander Madison or Tony Pollard, like, those guys aren't around to be the strong backups, Chase Edmonds, those kind of guys. So it's like, you see the flash in the pan, you got to make the move. Justin, coming to you. Oh, go ahead, Joe.
Well, I'm sorry. Before you move on, Do you still believe in Pollard being a legit good backup running back with now Dalton leading that offense?
Yeah.
Genuine question. I don't know because I'm actually the Pollard owner and I like him. I thought he would be a home run pick if Elliott goes down, but I'm not sure how confident I am with the offense ran by Dalton.
So here's the thing we have with Pollard, and it's not the quarterback, it's the coach and the OC. In the first drive of the game, Tony Pollard was in the game and Zeke wasn't, right? So he's a part of that offense. He's a part of the game plan. He's an incremental part of that offense. So all because you change quarterbacks, and usually when you see a quarterback change, you rely more on your running backs. You're going to see him still be somewhat relevant. I wouldn't put him into a lineup or a flex, but definitely someone you don't drop. You just handcuff him in if something happens to Zeke, right? We've seen all crazier things happen, and honestly, all those nothing but prayers and blessings to Dak Prescott for the injury that he suffered this past week. So you never know what happens.
Reminder that you don't trash players who go after the bag and try to get security in their financial situation because this is why. And there's always a number of these situations throughout the year where you can say this is why. Let them be able to provide for themselves and their family, man, because you never know when their chance of making money is just over because of their body, not because of their talent.
Right. Yeah, I think I echo Ashton's sentiments when it comes to Tony Pollard, man. There are certain backups that are so talented, him being one of them, that like you can't drop him just based off of talent alone. And in this situation, it's like if Zeke goes down for any amount of time, right, even a half, if you by chance had Pollard in that game, like he's going to get 10, 12 carries in that half. He's going to see 3 or 4 targets. It's like and if Zeke was to potentially ever go down for more than that, it's like those aren't the guys that you want to drop. So I hear you. But like Ashton said, he's involved right away. He's in the script. He's getting the love. He's getting the play. So.
And another factor was, didn't they just lose their left tackle for the season? I know Frederick, the center, he's no longer with them. So they're not the crazy O-line that they used to be. But I'm admitting that I didn't see the Cowboys game, so I'm not sure how their O-line backups was filling out. Because I was watching my Eagles game, and we did have a 7th-round pick from Australia who played rugby, never started NFL or college or a high school game, and he was serviceable at left tackle. Was it Jordan Mailata? Yes. So you could have some good backups. So thank you.
There it is. Justin, we're still throwing it to you, man. Who are you looking at in week 6 as your waiver pickup?
I'm going to make this real easy. It's got to be Andy Dalton. Knowing his track record over his career, he's been in the league 10 years. He's averaging about 3,100 yards a season, 20 touchdowns a season, 11 interceptions. So that's just average. He's stepping into somewhat of a similar situation that he's seen with Cincinnati over his years, with a pretty loaded skill set of backs and receivers. All he got to do is deliver the ball. So I would definitely say pick him up. He should be on the waiver wires because nobody saw this Dak incident happening. You got Zeke, Tony Pollard. He's a very good running back. So it's all uphill for Andy, I believe.
I think you're right on. Whoever's owning Dak, if there aren't many quarterbacks left in your league or whatever, I think Andy Dalton's going to be available in a lot of leagues, and that offense has weapons galore. So I think that's a solid pick. I'm gonna round it out here, fellas, and I'm sure he's in a lot of leagues and on a lot of teams. But Jamaal Williams is my waiver wire pick this week, and after watching what he did in week 4, I think it's pretty clear why. Right, like first and foremost, like Tony Pollard, like Chase Edmonds, he's involved in the game script right away. There are times where the Packers have made it clear, they've made it be known that they want Aaron Jones to be ready for the playoffs. So there are drives, minute spans that go by where Jamaal Williams is the running back. And obviously, if something was to ever happen to Aaron Jones, like that workload for Williams expands exponentially. But what was intriguing was in week 4, again, without Devontae, without Alan Lazard, 8 catches for 95 yards against the Falcons. Rodgers likes to throw to his running backs. Like at one point in time, he was all about the deep throws. He had wide receivers all over the place. But this offense is a little bit different aside from Devontae Adams. So he's going to use his tight ends. He's going to use his running backs. And I think Jamaal Williams is a great pass catcher. And his next matchup in week 6, they're facing the Buccaneers, who are the 3rd worst defense against running backs in the whole NFL from a fantasy standpoint. So I got 3 reasons this week. He's an awesome backup. He was used in the past game in week 4, and the Bucs don't seem to know how to stop running backs yet. So I'm all in on Jamaal Williams if he's available in your leagues.
That's good Packers insight. I didn't know about – I mean, it makes sense when you say it about trying to preserve him for the playoffs, but I didn't know he would be in for a whole series at a time.
Yeah, no, multiple times. Like this season, Aaron Jones is perfectly healthy, just on the bench, right? And I mean, he's doing enough work in your fantasy leagues and in real life where like you never have to worry about not playing Aaron Jones because of that reason. But it's like, can we preserve him for 7 plays to have him 7 plays better in the NFC Championship game, right? And that's what it seems like the Packers are doing right now, and it adds to Jamaal Williams' value.
So if I were to be able to have enough money to scoop him up, would you take him over Nyheim Hines?
Oh, for sure. If for no other reason than right now, the Packers offense, at least right this second, is just zooming, right? I think they're still the number 1 scoring offense in the league. Again, aside from Devontae and Aaron Jones, it's kind of a question mark about who's going to be the number 3 guy within the offense this week. You guys gave me the chance to switch my pick last week, and I was right. It ended up being Bobby Tonyan, 3 touchdowns in the game.
And then
right,
Ace spent the money for him, right?
Yeah, that was we're not even going to get into that because he pulled a shady move on that one. We're not going to talk about that. It was very foul how Ashton got Robert Tonyan, and I trusted him, and I shouldn't have, and I never will I ever when it comes to fantasy football. So he caught me slipping.
Wait, did he ask you how much you were bidding?
It wasn't like that. What he said to me was, "Yo, are you trying to put in a bid for Robert Tonyan?" And I said, "Yes, of course." And he was like, "Okay, I don't have that much fantasy money, so I'm not going to be able to put in a bid." And so, with that, I wasn't going to while out because I had spent a good amount on Gesicki, and you guys know I'm trying to get these defenses. But what I did do was definitely lower my Bobby Tonyan because the Packers were off. I didn't think people were going to be looking at them as thoroughly, right? Like if they had played week 5, everyone would have been in on him coming out with 3 touchdown performance. I figured off a bye, no one's going to spend crazy money on a tight end who you can't play. So I took my bid down. I mean, he tripled my bid. Let's be honest. I wasn't going to get it, but it was just the deceit. The deceit.
My initial bid was $15 actually.
Would that have gotten it? Ryan, would have gotten him?
Mine was either 13 or 16. It was one of those 2 numbers. I think it was I think it was 13 and Ashton bid maybe 36. Was that it, Ashton?
30.
Yeah, so I think mine was either 16 or 13. And hearing that, right? If it was 16, 15, I ended up with Bobby Tonyan, right? That would have been nice. But he pulled he caught me slipping. That won't happen again, folks. I apologize to you guys, to the league. I let you guys down. That was dirty. But you live and you learn, man. Fellas, another great episode, man. Before we wrap it up, any thoughts? Are you guys okay with your matchups? You nervous? What's going on?
It's just a weird week. Just a weird week.
Yeah, Melvin Gordon not playing this week did me dirty.
There it is. Well, we hope that everyone comes back and joins us for our midweek episode. Ashton.
All right, let me. I'm gonna interrupt you now so you can get a good close off. But the Buccaneers are actually ranked 24th against the run. They allow 19.2 points per running back. The actual number 3 team is the Houston Texans with running backs just low. Mailbox. If you're ever watching PTI, just mailbox.
And I knew that was off, but it actually could start to go towards what Ryan did say, because they did lose one of their first-round defensive linemen. Isn't that right, Justin? Wasn't he more of a block shed? I'm thinking Madden. Wasn't he more of a run defender versus a pass rush guy?
Yeah, man, that was our first round pick from not this past draft, but the draft before. So he was more like a replacement for McCoy. So
Talking about Vita Vi?
Yeah, man.
V.
He pulled off a McCoy and got hurt. Not to say that it was on purpose or nothing, but I just don't feel like we should have picked a defensive tackle that early in that draft. But I'm not the GM, so you know.
So I just went back to my researcher, and they're hearing what's going on. I'm like, hey, Ashton's kind of coming at me crazy on the show. Did I say something wrong? And I just got the note, and what it is or was that going into the matchup against the Bears, the Buccaneers defense had allowed the third most catches to running backs, which goes along with what I was saying about Jamaal Williams' ability to be a pass catching back. So I don't know where they rank in terms of fantasy defense against running backs. When it comes to letting running backs catch the ball, you want to go against the Buccaneers. So Jamaal Williams is still a play, ladies and gentlemen. Ashton, you got anything to add to that?
I mean, if running backs average 19.2 points, how are you going to split that between Aaron Jones and Jamaal Williams? But I'll let you rock.
We have the best offense in football. I'm not worried about no 19.2 fantasy points.
That is a little shocking, to be honest. Genuine question. Have you guys faced a good defense or a number of good defenses the first few weeks?
No, only the Vikings. No big deal. They're not that good.
No. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Only the Saints. Then they're not that good.
Oh, okay. So
only the Lions. They're not that good.
Oh, so you know the picture. Okay, fair. So who would be a
No, they're all good. They're all good. I'm being sarcastic. Our offense is absolutely torching. What are you saying?
They got good defense? These teams that you mentioned?
Kendricks,
Not this
Wilson,
year, bro.
Harrison Smith. Bro, because they faced
the
us.
The Lions are number 6.
Bro,
Minnesota,
we should end the show
15.
before you start put more information out there.
What was the other team y'all played? New Orleans?
Just sign
Yeah,
up.
they're 25th. They're 25th.
Yeah,
So,
they're not good.
Guys, all of them faced us. Yes, so that puts a big damper on your numbers. If you give up 350 yards, of course you're going to look not great.
Not one game.
So
bro.
1 out of 5 is just like all of a sudden.
Right. You didn't drop 1,000 yards on them.
We average 40 points per game.
No, y'all got a good offense. I know
we do.
I was just genuinely concerned because this doesn't.
We're talking about offense. We're talking about offense.
Right, but it doesn't seem like this Packers team, especially with what's his name, Devontae Adams struggling with staying healthy, should be the number 1 offense in the league. It just sounds kind of fishy.
Aaron Rodgers is the greatest quarterback of all time, and he's the starting quarterback.
You still think he's better than Tom Brady?
No.
Tom Brady?
He's probably one of the most talented, and I don't even know that
Agreed.
with Patrick Mahomes.
Oh my
but
God.
Definitely not the GOAT.
Yeah, no, obviously Tom Brady has the accolades. Like I don't mean it like that, but we all know who the better thrower of the ball is. If you wanted someone, you take Aaron Rodgers over him. There's no discussion.
See.
I mean, right now, I feel like, who would you take throwing the ball, Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes? It's a debate.
So
Right.
This is where Ryan picks and nitpicks when it comes to quarterback, because you said a better thrower. So part of the quarterback position is to read defenses. I don't think anyone has ever been able to read coverages, maybe Peyton Manning. But in terms of the total picture and the fact that Tom Brady doesn't have the physical capability that Aaron Rodgers has and still be able to outperform him, I think would attest that Tom Brady's a better quarterback.
I disagree, because I think they each have just as many seasons where they're better than the other. That's why the last all-decade team, those are the 2 selections. I think what goes into winning Super Bowls and championships in games is a lot to do with coaching and a lot to do with defense and a lot to do with special teams. And last year, before we added Tyler Ervin, we had the worst. Last year, before Tyler Ervin added, we had the worst special teams in NFL history. Not just in the league that year, in history, right? These are the kind of things that get surrounded around Aaron Rodgers. Bro, what do you
special teams?
All right. A-Rod is one of the most talented quarterbacks we've ever seen.
What you got, Justin?
Ryan, close us out. Ryan, close us out. Ryan, get us out of here. Ryan, get us out.
Justin got something to say. Justin got something to say.
I gotta listen to Justin.
At any time.
Excuse me?
That we can sign out at any time.
Okay.
Get us out of here. Get us out of here. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, because everybody knows, and that's fine. Aaron Rodgers, you know the vibes. Ladies and gentlemen, when you join us later in the week, per usual, everybody knows. We'll have
Sounds
our
like
starting six
number
section.
45. Everyone said.
We'll have our starting sit, and we'll have a few of our league mates to discuss the matchup of the week within the Indecision period.
Joe, pull an Asher real fast. Go ahead.
Nah, it's too late, man.
So,
I'm out.